So, I told you that in the afternoon we're going to have one session that delved a little deeper into a particular kind of research, kind of easier to get your hands around and to think in more detail. And then another session that is an issue or an area in tax practice that probably deserves a lot of our attention, that there are probably a lot of research opportunities available there. So we're going to start up there. Our first session is going to be with Cécile Bazart. I've very much enjoyed the last few days getting to know Cécile. She is on the economics faculty, so as much as I've been talking about tax accounting, she is an economist at the University of Montpellier. Her area is behavioral economics. So again, she and her colleagues are interested, amongst other things, in tax compliance. But again, the interaction of the economic incentives that are there with some of the psychological and sociological issues that also impact taxpayer decisions. So I'm looking forward to hearing that myself. She is published in several journals, amongst them the French Journal of Economics, but also international journals, such as the Journal of Economic Psychology, and I've published in there, so I know that's a great journal. So, so without further ado, Cécile, welcome and thanks.
I think that's the only thing.
Yeah, just open the... I didn't know which one you wanted to start with.
Okay. Thank you very much to be there this afternoon after this quick lunch. I wanted to thank my colleagues from the University of Pretoria and especially my colleagues from SATIA for the invitation today. As you were told, I'm an economist and merely now an experimentalist. I did my PhD on tax evasion and I have broadened a little bit my research on taxes to work more generally on tax compliance and merely using experimental methods. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, how to use an experiment, what can we do with experiments, and how shall we do. As you may know, experimental methods first was developed by the psychologists, but the methodology employed by psychologists, economists are very different, and I want to make it clear where the differences are and what the good methodology would be, at least from today and on. So we had a very interesting workshop in Vienna at the beginning of this year in September, the academic year, about the experimental methods because it's evolving quite a lot. And I hope I will manage to give you the good overview. We have 1 hour to talk about this. My choice was to make, in fact, to split the presentation in 2 parts. The first part is a methodological part, so clearly explain to you what the experiments are used for, how you should build a design and the specificities of the methodology. Here I want to emphasize something that Andy has been saying several times during his presentation. Experimental method is typically one kind of research where we mix skills and where usually we can have a extended number of cooperations and collaboration on papers. As you will see, I hope at the end of this presentation, you require a lot of skills to do one paper. From the idea to the building of the design, that is clearly something that should be handled with caution and with real knowledge of the question, the idea, to the treatments of data, which I will not talk about today, but which is highly specific. I will mention this in the conclusion. So I give you these methodological issues just because it seems to me that the conference is quite wide in terms of participants to give to everybody the same basis, so afterwards I would be able to make you work a little bit on some examples of designs. Okay? So let's start.